Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening to all our global viewers at this time. How are you going? And welcome to my channel, Motivationalee. And this channel is intended to inspire, motivate, and create an impact. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, it is very important for each one of us. I believe this is the right time, perfect timing to talk about this mental health and well-being. And for those who have not subscribed in my channel, please click that bell button, click the subscribe button, like and share as well. And as I said, today is really, really important because it's a perfect time to discuss about mental health and well-being. And of course, having said that, I'll be joined today by one of those people who is very much passionate about mental health and what else, mental health and well-being. And this young lady is has studied bachelor of psychology and of course a master's of clinical counseling. So before we start about rolling, I would like you to meet her right now. Her name is Orit Pint. Welcome, Orit.
Thank you very much, Lee. Thank you for the lovely
How's it
introduction.
going? That's
Very well,
okay.
thanks. Good
How's
to
it
see you.
going? How's your Sunday going?
Nice, very nice sunny day here in Melbourne. Can't complain.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Time
We
to
love
relax.
it. We
How's
love
yours?
it.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
absolutely.
all good, even though, I'm not so feeling well, but I feel energized
Mm.
right now because it's such a beautiful day. I said, as you have mentioned, outside, and even right now, Sunday. Let's really claim it today, already, that this today, Sunday, is a mental health and well-being Sunday. Of course, with you. So before we start about rolling, I would like you as well, all right, apart from what I've mentioned a while ago, would you mind as well, uh, not explain, but you can add some more of your about brief background about yourself, all right, please.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lee. As you said, I am very passionate about mental health and well-being. I do work in a tertiary setting where I do help keep the students engaged and motivated in their studies, focusing on their mental health and well-being, and also any kind of barriers to learning. And that's something I really enjoy. I've been in that role for just over 6 years now.
Wow, amazing. And I'm sure you're enjoying it because you're not just doing your job, but you're doing that passion and you're really doing your mission, right? Creating an impact to
Absolutely.
other people as well. So congratulations for that, Orit.
Thank
Beautiful.
you, Lee.
Now, Orit, I'm sure a lot of viewers right now are just really excited to know about this because you know what? A lot of people in different parts of the world, not just because of pandemic, but I think it's an ongoing thing that some of them they didn't realize that they are already being crushed, with stress. And some of them, they don't know how much weight they could take in. And they think like, oh, I just keep going, and I'll be fine, I'll be fine. Yeah, it's okay not to be okay. But then suddenly, without any symptoms, they're already experiencing something about, unhealthy mental, what you call that, concerns, and the whole thing about health, and we all know that health is wealth, isn't it, Orit? So let's just talk about this.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Orit, about this mental health? What do you think about that
Yeah, it's a
in your
big
own
question, isn't
perspective?
it, really? Mental health can mean so many different things to different people, but overall, I believe it's just feeling like a healthy balance between that kind of emotional, psychological, social, and sort of physical well-being, and that can vary for different individuals as to what makes them feel or identify as feeling well enough. And as you said, it's okay to not always feel okay, but you've got to feel like you can be productive in society, that you have the incentive to keep going, and that's the overall feeling of well-being that we're talking about.
That's right. And some people are still in denial, especially if they love what they're doing, but they didn't really realize that they're already stress mentally, physically, could be emotionally as well, combined with what's going on at their own wherever they live. It's kind of is a mixture of like personal, maybe could
Absolutely.
be
Yeah.
work as well, and sometimes
Hmm.
it's really hard to juggle everything, isn't it, between personal and work as well. So it's
That's
good that
right.
you
And
have mentioned that right now, and it's very
mm,
important, asking anyone that we know, even strangers, hi, how are you, are you okay? It feels good to hear that from other people, isn't it, Arit?
It really is. It really is very important, and that's why they have the "Are You OK" day, where I just wrote down the gentleman's name. Gavin Larkin started that as an sort of incentive. He had his own story to tell about his father suiciding, and it's very important to ask everyone, "Are you OK?" on a day-to-day basis, because just behind the smile may be a lot of things that are going on for an individual, and then you just reaching out there for that support can make a world of difference to someone.
Definitely. And it's true that it's kind of like asymptomatic, that there's no symptoms, right? Could be our family member, our colleague, our
Mm.
friends. They're going to be, they can be very cheerful, very happy, but you don't know what's going on inside. Even like with, like us nurses, right? Because I'm a nurse as well. Like, patient doesn't know what we're going through before we go into their rooms, we try and keep everything being concealed, and no one would know, but we're there to do our job, not just a job but our mission. Same thing with the patient as well. We don't know really what's going on with them. It's really not just in the nursing medical world, but in many different institutions and many different work jobs, whatever you do, even just you're just at home, especially now during pandemic, right? And
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
because of the uncertainties these days, right now during pandemic. A lot of people are thinking like, I am okay, I am very much okay, I can still do my work, I can still go and do my exercise, I feel healthy. But then didn't realize that there are things that's overwhelming them. It could be
Correct. Correct.
personal, work, or family, things like that. So,
That's right.
guys, for
Yeah.
those who are watching right now, please, you can send a comment down below, and please let us know what are your questions as well. For Orit and myself, we'll be here as well to discuss something really more fruitful for you today, some golden nuggets as well. So, Orit, as we move on, what do you think? Let's say, for example, because we are in a different sort of like culture, right, in Australia or in many parts of the world, and not all of us are in medical field, not all of us had psychology sort of like background. What could be the signs and symptoms of those people who are actually experiencing unhealthy mental well-being, as a
Yeah,
whole?
that's a okay. No, it's a good question. I mean, it's a combination of things. Different people will present with different signs and symptoms. As you said earlier, you may not notice anything, but any kind of change in the regular behaviours of individuals, just look out for those things. It could be that they're not engaging as much as they normally do, or they're starting to drink alcohol or take substances, or just it could be risk-taking behaviours of all sorts of things. Just recognising different things. If you know the individual, you may see it more clearly, but if you're not really aware of what that person's like generally, but they come to you for support, then just recognising that and referring them to the right places, and starting off with a GP might be the best thing to do.
True, true. And as you have mentioned, there are different symptoms. It could be physical symptoms, it could be emotional symptoms, it could be behavior symptoms. Some of them they get easily irritated, could be it's the mood change, things like that. And if this
Yeah.
is not usual to someone, it's about time to say, are you okay? Do you need to talk, or and it's especially those who are really into this situation, having a unhealthy mental well-being, you see, it's
Mm.
hard for them to disclose something because it's all about the trust, or is it really the right time to talk about this. And later on we can let we can show them later on whom to contact to when they're having a mental health crisis. It's very important for you guys to know whom to reach out. If you cannot talk to your best friends, to your family members, or anyone that you trust, you can talk to professional people as well, and we will show that to you before the end of this podcast as well. So for those who have just dropped by, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, global friends, for dropping by, and keep, stay with us until we finish this podcast about mental health and well-being. So are you okay? Great. So is there anything else that you want to add to that, Orit, about any
Yes,
sign
absolutely.
symptoms? That's
No,
all?
there's
Yeah.
thank you, Lee. No, there are many different things that you can look out for. It could be, as you were mentioning, it could be anxiety, signs of depression. There could be someone with emotional outbursts that's out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
They're not normally like that. Whether that's anger issues, or whether that's actually, manifesting, hiding sort of things that are going on for them, concerns that are deeper. So just sort of looking out for those signs. It's sometimes with mental health, it's not just about a mental disorder. It could just be mental health conditions that can perhaps either lead to a disorder or just manifest in ways that are unhealthy later on if you don't target it early.
That's right. And we're talking about
Mm.
variety of age, right? It could be,
Yeah.
from school age, what you call this, primary age. It could be teenage life, even early adulthood or late adult, whatever age is this, it is very important that we know all of these signs and symptoms. So we are aware, like it's about time for each one of us, guys, not just because it's pandemic, but it's an ongoing thing, as I said a while ago. We try and look after one another and be aware of those signs and symptoms physically, emotionally, or behaviorally when there is a sign of unhealthy mental well-being as well. Okay, thanks for that, Orit. Now,
Pleasure.
knowing about right now that we are aware about there's so many signs symptoms physically, emotionally, and behaviorally, what could be your advice, the best approach when there is this if these signs and symptoms are present, Orit?
Okay, I think it's about recognizing it first. And individuals may not actually recognize that they have any kind of conditions that are causing them to feel a particular way. So then having that discussion, whether they're in a tertiary setting, referring them to the wellbeing team, or whether it's a friend or a family member, suggesting that they do go and have that discussion with their GP, just linking them into those services where they can get that professional opinion and have that discussion, because sometimes it may even be a chemical imbalance that's creating, whatever
Agree.
the situation is. It could be a combination of things, really. So I think seeking support from a professional would be very important initially.
Yes. That's good. That's
Mm.
good. And with that, all right, having said that, I was just thinking about this pandemic world, right? And due to pandemic, there's advantage and disadvantages. And one of those, I'm not sure if everyone would agree, it could be an advantage or disadvantage to anyone. Everything now has shifted into an online opportunity, even studying, right? And whether you're primary school, secondary, or tertiary, everyone must really adhere to that new norm, like online schooling, right? So I'm just thinking about this. Even the youngest children on lockdown, like us here in Melbourne, we're still on lockdown. Thank God we've got beautiful children's park here that we can go for a walk or something for fresh air. But thinking about the different parts of the world, going through this lockdown and doing online schooling, what do you think? What's the impact of this to all these children, whether whatever the age, doing this online schooling, the transition
Yeah, very.
itself? What do you think?
It's a big question. Great question too, Lee. I think everyone's been impacted one way or another. Obviously, initially it was a shock to everyone. We didn't know what was going to happen. I think now that things are, it's been sort of 18 months on or so. There's a greater understanding of the expectation that things have become more of an online learning nature. I mean, there's blended
Mm,
learning as well. I think it impacts
true.
the ones mostly who really want to do the sort of when it's the hands-on courses where you've got to be on campus in order to study, and for the younger students when they socialise with their friends and or students of all ages. I think the
Mm,
impact has definitely you know the focus has shifted to how do we actually manage it now, knowing that this is
mm,
the new norm, whereas
that's right.
originally, initially it was more of a what do we do, how do we do it. But the fact that we've been able to shift to the online, learning and so forth, shows that we are so adaptable. It happened also very,
Right.
so very quickly. So it should give us all hope that moving forward, we can just make it work with adapting it in the way we need to adapt it and going along as it needs to be,
That's true.
but
And
reaching
especially
out for the
last year,
support.
remember, that's
Yeah,
right,
sorry, go
correct.
ahead.
Especially or last year, right? It
Mm,
was really like unexpected. We're gonna have a lockdown sometime. Was it March last year? Correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah.
It feels like it's been a long time, but
Mm,
like the transition straight away to online. Wow, it impacted both the teachers and the students as well. Like some of us in general are not really like tech savvy. Maybe some of them in different parts of the world doesn't have any computer as well. That could be a stress for them as well. How can we learn if we don't have computer? Or how can we learn if I don't have a mic. How can we learn if my laptop has no camera, and my and the school needs us needs to see us because it's a virtual learning and we need to see one another, then having those icons, and it's a struggle, wasn't it, right? And but as you have mentioned, like from the last year up to now, I we both believe that majority has already kind of overcome the transition from the conventional way, face to face, to the new norm, online learning, isn't it? But as we have mentioned, as I've mentioned as well before, that not every individual is a unique being. Every individual has different coping mechanisms and capabilities as well. And not every individual, whatever the age, could be primary, secondary, tertiary, or older adults, with this transition, it could be hard for them to overcome, just to accept the fact that this is now, you cannot go back to the old norm, is this is the new norm, right? And with this, Orit, what do you think if they knew about the signs and symptoms, and they don't have a choice but to do this online thing, when it comes to learning, could be business, whatever they do, what if they won't be able to what you call this, they won't be able to get some help? What will happen? What other support? Let's say the family members, the friends, colleagues didn't know that you are going through something about unhealthy mental health and well-being, right? What if the support doesn't help? What can we do?
Okay, so if they've tried certain supports and they're not finding they're helpful, or if the family members are unable to get the individual to seek some support, then the family themselves can discuss the available options. But it's always good to try different supports. This is why initially linking in with a GP or speaking to someone whether it's someone from your workplace, the EAP, we have that in Australia,
That's right.
the employee assistance program, seeking support through them. For students, it's reaching out to the wellbeing team at their TAFE or university, speaking to someone that they can trust and building that rapport. Because it's okay
True.
to not feel that you connect with someone. It's okay to reach out to someone else where you do establish that rapport and feel that you can trust and feel safe to disclose how you're feeling. What I found with the
Right.
pandemic, more and more people have been reaching out for the first time, whereas before they hadn't. They realised that because we are able to provide that support, not just face to face, but also online, on the phone. We've got e-counselling, all sorts of ways. I think we're reaching more people and allowing them to feel that we're in this together. This pandemic has been something that has really joined us all together worldwide. So people are
True.
realising that mental health is not a taboo subject. It really is okay. It's wonderful to reach out to someone, and to someone that's non-judgmental. We can allow you to feel safe in that space, and things remain confidential. So I think that it's paved the way for many to seek the support they otherwise would have been reluctant to do.
That's right. And I like the way when you said about taboo, because long time ago it was a taboo, right? When you say, "Oh, I'm having a mental health crisis," it could be a different connotation to other people that you need like something, medications, whatever it is. But right now, especially during pandemic, as I said, it could be an advantage or disadvantage to anyone when it comes to pandemic. But this during pandemic, it becomes everyone, even small or big companies, institutions, they're now open to this conversation about mental health and well-being. And even in other institutions, they have this 1 day off for all staff to have this mental health and well-being day, which is amazing. And I hope that this will continue as well, not just because during pandemic, even though there's no more lockdown, pandemic is over. I hope this will become an open sort of communication, not just for small companies but also big companies, that give your employees or even students that day off for mental health and well-being, because it's really important. We have this pause sometimes, like, don't think about work, don't think about studying, just have that creative thinking. Maybe you can go to the beach or go for a walk and just have that fresh air and think about reboot yourself. How we wish, or that we could have this kind of cycle after pandemic, that we can have this mental health and well-being day all the time. Can we do it
Fantastic, very
monthly?
well said. Absolutely.
We can do
And
it
again,
monthly,
you're right.
guys.
That would be amazing. And just focusing on self-care, as you're saying, is so important. I think more and more organizations and everyone around the world is realizing that that is part of uh, how to enhance productivity from employees, from students, from everyone, is just really allowing them to have that space to be able to take that time out to relax, and having and focusing on self-care is vital. It's no longer just considered to be, just we're doing it for our own self-interest. It really is allowing us to be more productive in the community.
That's true. And having said that as well, like I remember what you have mentioned, there must be start with self-awareness and self-evaluation. So we know, and as I said, how much stresses, what we can, weight of the stresses we can take in, and think about some strategies that we could overcome this so that it won't escalate into a worse scenario, Like maybe some people would say, I'll go for yoga, I'll go for a walk. I do listen to music. I don't know about you, or what do you do if you think like, I'm so overwhelmed with everything, whether it's personal, family, or work? What do you do? Give us a tip.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, for me, it's always water therapy, showers, baths. If I could go and have a
Nice.
spa every
Ooh,
day, I would.
yeah,
I don't have a spa, but it's different, as you say. I'd go to the park with my dogs, and if my teenagers want to follow, that's fine. It used to be, come on,
that's
get some
good.
fresh air. Now it's like, I'll just go and get some fresh air. You can do what you want to do, and we've
Yeah,
got a treadmill. So at the end of the day, it's okay to just do what you enjoy. I always say, if it's safe, if it's legal, then do it.
yeah,
If it's so each to their own. At the end of the day, it's really about taking that time out, not feeling guilty about it, and knowing that you will be more productive in your work
that's
life, in your
true.
daily life, if you,
Agree
take
with
that
that.
step back.
Agree with it.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
We
Good
all.
points, Orit.
That's okay. It's a pleasure.
And also Orit, I remember some of them they also do pet therapy if they have pets, It really diverts your mind because
Yeah.
our mind is very powerful. It
Mm.
can overwhelm us as well because of overthinking, intrusive thoughts all the time, and you become stressed about it because you're overthinking. And even if it's not happening, you feel like, yeah, I'm not good enough. I am not well skilled, or I am not ready. I don't have anything. All of those negativity, like you're self sabotaging yourself, right? So it's really good that you can think about. You're aware that it's coming, and you're aware that it's not healthy, and you evaluate yourself and then manage it. Some of them I heard that they do, the breakout room. Have you heard about that? All right, in Melbourne we've got that, right? In somewhere in Auckland or somewhere there that you
I,
can break something like a plate, whatever.
oh
You're
yes,
trying to
yes,
release all the stresses, so that's what they
yeah.
do as well. Breakout room. I heard about that.
Fantastic.
A few of my
Great.
friends has done that too. Pet therapy,
Mm.
dance therapy. What
Mm-hmm.
else? They sing. What else? So
Oh,
maybe
there's so much, isn't there? There's the sky's limit. It's been limiting to do certain things, obviously, with the pandemic and lockdowns. I think that's where a lot of the frustration comes for individuals, and that's how it's been impacting their mental health. From the students that I
mm,
speak with, that isolation has been debilitating for them, and with
that's right.
gymnasiums closing down, the inability to
True.
exercise the way they usually do, to exert their energy and focus on then being able to be relaxed after that. That's been really tough for a lot of the students as well.
That's
So I
true.
think once things open up more and we're able to get back to sort of the new normal life, but more things can be done outdoors, and the restrictions as they ease, you can see the smiling faces. Obviously, when they're not wearing their
True.
masks, you can see the smiling faces. Even that in
That's
itself, not
right.
being able to
You can just
smile,
do this
you know,
wave. Yeah.
absolutely, or with your eyes.
Or like
Just
wink wink like that.
it's
Yeah.
it's just we I think it's having a sense of humor about it as well, where we can. I know it's a serious situation, but we've still got to remember we can have a sense of humor about it, and as I said before, we're all in this together. So that's supporting one another and just doing the best we
True.
can is all we can do. Take it day
Good
by day,
point.
step by step.
True. And I agree
Hmm.
with I agree to that. And also when it comes to humor, they said humor your stress. I can also share the link
Hmm.
here. There's a video from a TED talk about humor your stress. It's amazing. It rediverts your stress because it's really like a powerful talk about how to humor your stress instead of like overthinking about something little, it becomes bigger because you are self-sabotaging yourself as well, and you're not seeking assistance at the same time. So it becomes really big mentally, right? Health wise too.
Absolutely.
So you can humor your stresses as part of the another strategy that you can do, apart from going for yoga, going to the gym, going for a walk, pet therapy, dance, sing,
I
breakout
love
room. You
it.
can also humor your stress, right? So, and
Yeah.
especially now, like as we have mentioned, like during pandemic, it's all online learning, and students or even teachers, whoever's teaching online or even working online, it's kind of stressful physically as well, all day working from 8:30 to 5 o'clock in front of your computer. You need to pause as well. You need to stretch. Maybe during lunchtime, you can have lunch outside, go for a little walk, come back again and recharge. I think it's very important, isn't it? Right?
Absolutely. It's fantastic. Be careful not to stretch with your camera on in case you're wearing pajamas from the waist down with the
That's so
online
true.
working.
Yeah, I like having
Turn
the
your
pajamas
cameras
with
off,
a blazer
everybody.
as well. True, true. I mean, like a lot of things that happened during pandemic, and I remember I just talking to one of my new friends in like I do a lot of coaching, right? And for this particular person, realize that during pandemic, during some of the stresses that's going on within himself, he realized that he's got other talents. So instead of being stressed about thinking about his work, what else does he's doing right now, what he did was to redivert this. He didn't realize he has a talent in painting. So when he was just doing and rediverting himself, like, wow, I can draw, I can paint. So he's trying to redevelop that, and how amazing how it actually rediverts his stress. So it's part of managing as well, and
Mm.
acknowledging now that you can also realize that you have other talents as well. So during pandemic, you can also see that it's coming. So pandemic can be a blessing, or could break you. It could make you or break you. But at this time,
Yeah,
few of the people that I have spoken to recently has recognized that they have other talents because of rediverting themselves away from the stress. Some of them, they did painting. Some of them, they don't like walking, but now they love walking. Some of them, they don't like exercising, but now they redivert to exercising. Some of them, they're
yeah.
into like this paper art, something I forgot the
The
uh
mache.
yes. So it's like it's
Hmm.
just because they were listening online, this webinar, whatever, and suddenly he's got that thing and realized, oh, I've got this talent. So it's a blessing as well, in disguise, that during lockdown, during pandemic, it can make you or break you, and you realize something that you've got other things that you can do as well. They can make you more productive
That's right.
and
Absolutely. There's
improve
got.
your self-esteem.
That's it.
Yeah, but again,
That's
not
right.
everyone has that kind of what you call this
Mm.
mindset. So some of them, they allow
Yeah,
themselves to
that's right.
drown into that stresses until it
Mm-hmm.
becomes big and big and bigger,
Yeah,
bigger than a fire. And
that's
again,
right. Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, our mind is very powerful. So make sure as well psychologically
Hmm.
you don't condition your mind, but make sure you condition it in a way, in a more positive way, that I can do this. If I'm stressed, I'll just go for a walk or talk to my friends, blah blah blah. And if there's no more
That's right.
pandemic, you can go out
Absolutely.
with your friends, right? Go out for a
Hmm.
coffee, snack, or a night out if you want to, once every 3 months, once every
Hmm.
month. That's good rediverting yourself. That's great. Thanks for that, Orit. No, Orit, sorry, let's keep on talking. This is a kind of very interesting topic, isn't it, right? And especially
That's right.
if we have been talking to different kinds of people as
Absolutely.
well, with
Yeah.
different struggles and
Mm.
win as well, winning moments as well.
Yeah.
So there's a question here, Orit. Okay, this is in this pandemic era, what is the most probable etiology or cause of mental health and well-being problems or concerns all over the world, but in most variety of age? What do you think?
It's a very good question. So I think with the fact that we've been quite isolated, there has been an increase in depression, and there has been, I mean, in terms of social interactions, that's definitely been limiting. So for a lot of people, that's changed the whole landscape, including how we go about dating, how we go about catching up with our friends, how we go about working when we're so used to working and mixing with people. That's been giving us the opportunity to not think about our personal problems while we're there on the work in the workplace. And so reflecting and ruminating more about our problems now as we're working it from home means it's even more important to reach out for those supports. So I think with the pandemic and what the future is looking at like for us, I think it's very important to yeah, as I said, reach out for those supports and make sure that we are not allowing ourselves to go deeper into whether it's depression, anxiety, or all the things that can happen. I mean, we've got the pantry that's readily accessible. There could be eating disorders that come up. In the end,
True.
it's something we've got to really address. Sleeping problems, sleeping too much, sleeping too little. That's another thing. It's just really
Physical symptoms.
we've
Yes,
had to
that's right.
restructure our lives.
True,
Mm.
true. And with your experience, you're
Yeah.
very much experienced talking to a staff, talking to students in general. How is it? How if you don't mind, sharing, you don't need to disclose anything, but even names or whatever. But how is it talking to these people? How is the result as well, if you don't mind, or it
No, I don't mind at all.
share
So
your
do you mean
experience?
during the pandemic, how it's shifted in terms of the learning and
Yes,
the interactions?
something like that
Yeah,
during
it's
pandemic.
I've actually found that the staff and students have even stronger interactions, sort of a higher level, because they've had to do that. Students reaching out for support more often, because usually those in class would raise their hand to ask a question. Now it's been more of a case of, oh, I haven't asked the question in class, it's online, I'm uncomfortable. So they'll email the teachers, and I'll have more discussions, more meetings with students and teachers. And the support has actually really increased, and I've got a lot more sort of student satisfaction. That's the feedback that I'm getting. I mean, I know I work with you, Lee, and you're amazing with referring students on, and
Thank
and
you.
how understanding and compassionate you are. And I think that the relationship between the teacher and the student is really important for the success, because a student that feels they can approach that teacher, and you're very approachable, they really do feel comfortable asking the questions they need to ask. And
True.
at the end of the day, that's what we need, to be very understanding and accommodating and forgiving, because it is a lot tougher these days to navigate the technologies and things like that for many students. Some of them are fine with it, some of them prefer it because that suits their introverted sort of personality, but
That's
others
right.
are really struggling because, again, it's an individual thing. It's case by case, so no two scenarios are the same. And I think
Mhm.
the flexibility now of learning, we can reach out to more students in that way.
That's true. Thanks for sharing that, Orit. And I love that
Mhm.
passion, and I love that you're doing your mission and vision as well in reaching out to people and being always open. Your door is always open, not just for students, but also for the staff. Thank you for that. And I wish you all the best in the future as well, Orit, that many, many more years so you can do this and creating an impact to other people as well, not just for the staff, but also
Thank you,
for the
Lee.
students as well. And it's I feel sorry and I feel the pain of those, not just student, but any individual, whatever age, that they, especially now there's on lockdown and pandemic, and they're just inside their room perhaps because maybe they don't have a good relationship with their family, something like that, or they lack that love, love, love for themselves, and they felt like they're not worthy. And the more they're crushed right now, I feel the pain. I feel sorry for them. And if you are watching right now, don't feel, guys, that you are not worthy, that you don't have the capabilities of sharing your thoughts, because a lot of people, not a lot, but there are quite a few people are thinking that way, that they cannot thrive anymore because they feel like in this pandemic era, they don't think that they can contribute more to the world. And if you need someone to talk to, I'm also a coach. I coach on wellness when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to wellness, when it comes to performance outcome, when it comes to stress, burnout as well, guys, self doubt, all these self sabotage. Please reach out to me. I have a website, www.motivationalee.com. You can see all my services there that I do, not just coaching as well. So feel free to reach out to me. I always give a free consultation so I know how I can approach you, how can I assist you as well. So that I would love to elevate your potentials. and become really significant as well in this world, because each one of us, each one of you who are watching right now, is capable of being successful, and no one is, dumb or whatever. We are all capable of thriving. Just reach out, and I'm a coach. Just reach out to me anytime, any day, with my website www.motivationalee.com. Okay, and I will write it down later on as well, my website later on. Thank you for that, Orit. Orit, you
Pleasure.
have given us a lot of good points, beautiful golden nuggets today to take home. And I'm sure for those who are watching this replay, watch it over and over again, share it to all your friends, family, colleagues, or for those who need to know this, information discussion that we and Art has been talking about a while ago. And even on your Facebook or Instagram or any social media that you can share this, please spread the good news, spread the love to everyone in the world, because all of us are going through something, different weight, but same effect as well, that could affect our mental health and well being. And today, Sunday, is mental health and well being for us. Now, Orit, I hate to finish this, but before we wrap this up, I would like to ask you, do you have any special message to anyone, those who are experiencing mental health and well-being, or even those who feel like they're healthy? How can they, help other people? How can we help rebuild one another as well? So take it away. What's your advice? Anything, you want
Oh,
to
thank
tell
you,
each
Lee.
one of us?
I think, like you always say, inspire, empower, and motivate. I think just being there, reaching out, asking, "Are you okay?" Knowing that nothing should be too much trouble when you're helping others. It's amazing how the world is. Just put it out there, be available, and you can make such a difference in someone's life. And really, that's my message. Just be there, be present, look out
Yes,
for those you can help. And I mean, I love
yeah,
my job. I'm very blessed. To keep reaching your goals. You can definitely do it. As you said, Lee, it's just a matter of seeking the right supports, reaching out
that's
when you
right.
need help. Don't feel too proud, uncomfortable, embarrassed. There's always someone there that can be there to help guide and motivate you, support you, and just be there to listen.
That's right. Orit and myself, of course, you can reach out to us as well, again, anytime, so that we can support you. All right. And Orit, if during mental health crisis, they can contact in front of you right now, guys, it's actually running in front of you. Contact Lifeline Crisis Support in Australia on 131 114, and also Beyond Blue on 1300 224 636 Australia wide. Once again, mental during mental health crisis, please contact Lifeline Crisis Support here in Australia on 131114, and also Beyond Blue on 1300 224 636 Australia wide. So please, you are not alone. You are capable, and do not forget that. And always remember, it's a simple word. Are you okay? Say that to anyone you meet every day. It means a lot to anyone if you ask for, if you say, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Or it.
I'm very well, thank you, Lee. It's been lovely
Good,
chatting
good.
with you, and
Thank you.
yeah, and hope
Thank,
this
thank you
helps
so much
everyone.
for your time. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for your time, Orit. Okay, sorry, I think it's the Wi-Fi is a bit lagging right now, but it's a pleasure to be, you're here with me right now doing this podcast and talking about mental health and well-being. And I hope this is not yet um, the last time. This is just the beginning, Orit, of us talking about this, and even some of our colleagues as well can join us next time talking about this interesting topics about mental health and well-being. There's so many things that we can talk about this, and I'm sure there'll be another time for us to talk about this. And just to wrap this up, Orit, don't go yet, okay? And I'll just want to wrap this up. Always remember, guys, that what we have talked about today is all about, one small crack does not mean that you are already injured, you're already broken physically, mentally, emotionally. It's not that. It means that you are just being put to the test, like put into trial, but you did not fall apart. Again, you did not fall apart, and you are not alone. always reach out. Okay. Again, as I said, one small crack does not mean that you are broken. It's not that. It means that you are just being put to the test. It doesn't mean that you are, or it didn't mean that you fall apart. Okay. So we can stand back again. Again, it's okay not to be okay. That's fine. But make sure, guys, that just a friendly reminder that self care is how you take your power back. We are bigger than your stress. So you are bigger than your stress. In front of the mirror right now, when you wake up in the morning, talk in front of the mirror and say, I am bigger than my stress, because self-care is how you take your power back. Always remember that. All right. So I hope we've given you a lot of good points today. So for those who have just tuned in, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Motivationalee. And again, this channel is intended to inspire, motivate, and create an impact to any one of you, whatever circumstances that you are, going through right now. And of course, as I said, please check out my website on www.motivationalee.com and check and browse all the services that are available for you. So anytime, please reach out to me as well. So thank you so much for watching. Once again, all right, have a blessed Sunday with your family. Have a good day and see you again next time. Everyone, take care and stay safe and stay motivated. This is Lee again on Motivationally. Bye.